This is where we stopped in part 1. We were able to log in from the server and we saw the output printed on debug console. Let's proceed from here, and what I want us to first start doing is converting this into a get material app. So I'll go to main, put get here. We have done this, sorry, not here. Get material app, so that we are able to define routes, because I want us to work on I want us to work on the sign up screen today. Okay, let me see what is happening here. Okay, it will soon suggest. Let me confirm whether we have that in the YAML file. Get package is there, so we're fine. Just need to resolve this by getting the right import statement and we are done. So let's proceed here. We need a file to manage our routes. So I'll just create a new folder, utils, and inside utils I will create new .dat file. Just call it routes, and this is where we will define our routes. Class routes. And I will define a list of routes here. Excuse me. It's just a list really of different routes. So let's start with the first one. We are calling a method called get pages. Sorry, get page. And that has two things. That is the name of the route, which is a string, and the page itself. So the starting page is the login page. So this is what I'm doing here. Then I will define another route for the registration or sign up page. I have not designed this page, so I'll go back and work on it. Let me see what the error is here. Login can't be assigned to parameter widget function. So you're right, we need to, it's like we are calling a function to navigate here. So this is okay. So this should be sign up. Since this is not developed, let's go work on it first. Inside views, where we have login, we can create another class or view for logging in, for sign up, sorry, sign up. This is a stateless widget. Sign up. Import material.dat. We're fine. So now I can import that here, and this should clear. I'm done with my routes. On main, we now need to remove home here because we are now using defined routes. Then in here, add the properties for initial route. Provide the name. Our initial route is that is the name of our initial route. From this, the name of that route is this, then takes us to the login screen. Okay, we also need to define the property called get pages, this one, and we need to call because it's expecting a list. So our list of roots is inside roots dot fruits. That's where we've defined them. We need to import this here, and we are good now. Instance can be accessed using static access. No problem. How about we make this static? Alafu, it's gone. Right, good. We have initial root and get pages. We are now okay. We can we just run this and it will run in the same way. Nothing has changed. We are doing this so that we implement the logic of logging in, and we want to log in through, not logging in, signing up. We want to sign up and have that record created on the server side. So this was the login screen. I really want to move fast. So the body of the login screen is not very different from the body of the sign up screen in terms of the widgets that I want to use. So I'll go to logging in here and copy the entire thing, starting from scaffold, and bring it here. I know you already have the user interface. I want you to pay attention when I start working on the code. Okay, material is needed. Let me go here now. Okay, so for the login in, for the sign up screen, instead of login, we can write create account or whatever message you have here. And we have more text field. It's not just the phone and the password. And I will look inside my table called users. So I will need a place for first name, second name, phone, pass, and password. There are not very many. So let's create that. For each, we need this, a text field, and this, and some space. So I'll just copy this and add it here. The label, actually the entire row, because row is allowing us to align this, then the text field and the space. So I'll copy this and put it here. So this is first name. The rest of everything remains all the way to this place. Then I can add second name. Then we go to phone, then we go to password. Okay, let's do away with the constant keyword here. It's creating problems below here. Good. Let's create the text editing controllers needed in this class for all those widgets. Text editing. Okay. Controller. First, we have one for phone. Just need to copy this statement a number of times. Password. First name. Use F name. L name. Let's assign those controllers to the right text fields. This is L name. Sorry, F name. This is L name, phone, password. I think we are okay. Let's comment on this because we don't have that method yet. Let me run this application as I work on the other parts. We want to see this layout. Okay, so let's go to the login screen here and add a link to the sign up screen just below here, below the button right here. Just write go to sign up. You already have these things in a better way because you've taken time to do the user interface. So I want this text that will appear on the login screen to help in navigating to the sign up screen. So how do we make this text clickable? We need to wrap it with another widget called gesture detector. Wrap with a widget, gesture detector. Gesture detector comes with another property here called on tap, which allows us to process a tap or a click action. So that's what I want to put here. And the task here is very simple. We just want to navigate. When this is clicked, we want to go to the sign up screen. So get dot to named, because we are using gettext to manage this, and then we provide the name of the route that we want to go to. So this can be or is sign up. These spellings must match, this spelling here must match what you have inside roots here. Sign up, sign up. So for sure, when this is clicked, we will be able to go to sign up screen. As the app loads, we remember we need a similar widget on the sign up screen that allows us to go to the login screen. So I will add that just below the button again. And this says go to login, go to log in. Login, the same thing. This is the initial root as declared here. The name for login is the blank one. So we're good here. Let me import get. We can allow some space here. Sized box, height 20. These two are not so close. I'll copy this and again take it to the login screen so that there is also space here. Let me hot reload this and see whether those, yeah, it's written there, go to sign up. I think if we click on go to sign up, we should be able to navigate to the new one which says create account. Let's change this button to sign up. This button here should read sign up. Okay. This also should navigate us to the login screen, and I think we are fine now. Very good. All we need to do is implement the sign up functionality through the server. Good. So let's go to the server side first before we come design the method here. On the server side, we need to be able to insert records here. Allow me to rename this so that I remove the underscore. It's not necessary. Or rather, instead of removing it, rename that column in a better way. Okay, this is still loading. Okay, let's give it time to load. Good. So our task here is very simple. Just like we did in the login screen, here we created a method that is helping us to communicate with the server and create a record. That's all we need to do on the other side. Just create a method that communicates with server, sends some values, and we will be so done. I want to start with the script. So this is the database. I want to rename this. So I click change here. I'm not sure why my server is very slow. I think internet. Okay. I feel like I should start designing this as the internet comes back. Good. So this is the build method all the way to this part. Outside the build method, just below that, I want to create another function that returns a future or void in the future called sign up. Call it server sign up. Okay. Response, you know what we did on the other side, response. Then we said this response is coming from the HTTP class. So let's, because get has response too, so let's specify that. Import HTTP, suggesting HTTP that as HTTP. Then we rename this part here to start with HTTP so that it is very clear where we are importing this from. Then HTTP, response, the one that we've just declared, is equals to HTTP dot want to call the method called post. We use post majorly when we want to send values to the server. So we have to, this is a method that requires that we call await, and because you're calling await, we will make this async. We need the URL of that script. So let me see whether this is now behaving. Yeah. I wanted to change this to created at, save it. And now we want a script that can insert a record here. I want to go back to this document because I really want you to know that the few scripts you have here are very important. And sign up is just creating a record. So I will use this code. Copy the one for create. When I go to my server here, I'll not write create. I will associate it with the role. So I just write sign up dot php. Put it here. Now we need to change this. We are not dealing with admission number, so we need to change this to the properties that you're dealing with. We have first name, we have last name, we have, this is based on your login form now. First name, last name, phone, and password. Phone, password. Let's define the keys in here. I like to use the same names as the variable names. So these are the keys one should pass when they want to call the script that creates a user. Okay, let's look at the logic again. Insert into student list. So this now changes to users, the name of our table. Values. We now need to match this with the number of columns we have here. So the first one is ID. We are leaving it blank here because it is auto-generated. Then we go to first name and second name. First name and second name, and since they are string, we'll remember to quote that. I will add that here. Then let's get them here. Starting with first name here. Then we go to last name here. Last name here. Then, so first name, second name, then phone. So we can change this to phone because we don't have admission number. Phone. Then after that, we go to role. And since we want the role is 0 for all other users, it's only 1 for admins. By default, we can just insert 0 for role, 0 for role. And whoever we want to make admin, we will just change that on the database. So let's create the one for password now. After 0, we create the variable for password. This one here, password. And check our table again. We have created at, and this is a column that takes date and time. And we will call a PHP function called now. This function, it returns the current time. So current time will be inserted. So we are done with this. If this is executed, the value of success will change from 1 to this. And now we can tell, or we can search and be sure that an account has been created. Let's change this to post. This post get is not so well defined when we are using just scripts, but let's use post here because that's what we should use when we want to send data from the other side for insertion into the database. Good. How do we determine if this script works? First, we go to Postman. Why we do this is so that by the time we go to the mobile phone, we are not dealing with two areas of uncertainty, the script and the Flutter code. So we want by the time we go there, we are sure this really works, so that our focus is just how to integrate the two. So let's get that API endpoint and try creating a record here, see whether a user will be created. There's one more thing we are forgetting. By the time we create a record, this password needs to be hashed. It needs to be converted into MD5 hashing. So I'll just add it here, MD5. Hash this password, convert it into, as you get it from this call, encrypt it immediately and store it here so that by the time you insert it here, it's already encoded. Very important. Otherwise, you will have plain passwords. And I think when I was looking at some of your projects, I was already seeing plain passwords. We don't do that. That would be a security threat, and it's not good, you exposing passwords for other people. We know some people use the same passwords for all the accounts, and I know you are taking some security classes. You need to think about that. Not even you, the developer, should know the password of your users. When they lose them, you're not supposed to send them their passwords. What you're supposed to do is provide a mechanism to reset that password. So where were we? We were on this one. We now want to change it to, we now want to change it to signup.php, and it is post here. So when it is get, we use parameters here. And when you add parameters, they appear in the URL. But when it is post, you use body here. Remember that. Then you pick either this, mostly this, then you now provide the keys and the values for that. I need to lower this slightly. So please remember that. For get, you use parameters, and that will be added in the URL. For post, you use URL encoded keys and values. So we need to provide this key. What is this key? This key is what I specified here that will be required. Same spellings. If you miss this, you have a problem, like I have misspelled this last name. If we don't use the exact key, it will not be able to get the value. Look at the value here. The value is what you write here. So I think the other one is phone. The other one is password. Okay. Are they only 4? Yes. Now, let's see whether we will be able to create a record with these values, with this data. Since we have James, let's have Jen. Some random names. 0714 589325. Password 1234. Let's send this to the server. I hope I saved the script on the server side. We have a problem. 404 means most likely you're using a different okay, first we have a problem here. The script, let's try again. 404 not found. By now we know what 404 means. Okay, let me see whether we saved. Okay. If we can create record with this, we are fine. I'm not so sure what I saw. Internal error. Let me see whether a record was created in the very first time I clicked on that. Yeah, good. Jen Wambui here. So we have that record created. The password is there. Everything is fine. Let's create a second record. Okay, let's create a second record. Remember, the phone number is a primary key, so we will need to change that. The others are not primary keys. We can go ahead. Good. Success means record has been created. Good. How then do we translate this and bring it back to the application? Meanwhile, when you're using Postman, this icon here says code. You can extract the code here and you can pick the language that you want to use. Like now we are dealing with that. I can just pick this and that's all. You see, request HTTP request post. Well, it would still work, though. Yeah, it would work. Let's go back to our code here. We already have the URL. This is the URL. So let's pick this. Remember, we need to use URI.parse so that we convert the URL to URI. The only thing we now need to worry about is how do we send those parameters, the body now. So I put a comma here and type body. It's already there. This body is a map. As you can see here, a map has keys and values. So when you look at this arrangement where we have a key and value, that's what we are calling a map. I can just get it from here or just type it. Just pick this and put it here. Define it first. Var body or whatever name you want to call this. Instead of now we are creating records for Jen, Wambui, and all this, but soon we will change that so that we have values coming in from which we can just do right now really. Instead of writing Jen, let's receive this from the name. Is it L name? F name. You remember the controller? Dot text dot trim. I explained the importance of trimming so that we don't have leading spaces. We need to do this for all the others. Change this to lname. Change this to phone. Change this to password. And that's all. Now whoever wants to log in should supply these values through the edit text. Let's finish the code. So once we execute this, what do we want to do with the response? So again, before we process response, we need to be sure the rest status code is 200, like what we have here. This 200 here, we must be sure. And you can see 200 means okay. So we need to be sure before we start extracting, checking whether it is success or not success, we need to be sure that response dot status code is equals to 200. If it is, we proceed with the rest of the coding. Did I miss anything? Sorry, this is a sign. Good. So let me repeat the same logic. Var server response is equals to JSON dot decode. If you don't see this coming in, you really need to import this. Import that dot convert, and this will clear. Then you'll have the method that you need here. Decode this one. And what are we decoding? Response dot body. Response dot body. Good. Since response.body has only one key, look at now the format here. We are not returning a lot of things. It's just one for success. So let's get that value. Int logged in, signed up is equals to server response, that one there, and that get the value that is stored under success. Now we can proceed. If, because we want to check, it could be 0. If there is an error and the record was not created for any reason, it could be 0. So let's check what is that. Signed up is equals 1, what do? And all we need to do here for now, we can print account created. Let's run this. I think we can just run it. Allow me to run it from here. Okay, let's go to sign up. This is the sign up. So let me create a record here. Who is this now? And Kamau, phone number 9999999. So then password 1234 again. Then let's sign up. Let's open the console as we sign up and clear it so that we see what happens when we click sign up. Oh, one more thing, we did not call this method. We need to call this method on the button. Click right here. Please, you need to be careful so that you don't make that mistake. It can trouble you. Okay, let's clear this again and click on this. Account created. Does this get you excited like it does to me sometimes, even though I've done it so many times? Anyway, so account is created, and I think we can do two things to check that. First, we browse, see whether that has been added here. We can see and Kamau, but also instead of saying account created, we can actually now navigate to the login screen when an account is created. Some people think there is no need to navigate back to the login screen. You can go to the dashboard directly. But I think why we go to the login screen is that, and you will see that when we will be improving the login screen, when a user logs in, there is a lot of data about them that we want to store in the device so that we can use it elsewhere. So let me navigate to the login screen here. Get dot to named. Actually, let's use to often named. I don't want to be able to use back and then go back to account. Then we go to this root, which is basically our what? Our login screen. So I'm restarting this. Okay, I will need to change the phone number. Can the last one be 8 now? Everything else can remain as is. Let's click on this, sign up, and when it is successful, it goes to the login screen. I want us to add because you shouldn't just go. I think you need to notify the user by popping up some message that we can do in a different class. But that's how we can implement the login, the sign up logic. Let's stop at this.